Good morning, good morning, good morning. Oh, thank you. I am Alexander Riegel. I am the developmental minister here at First Unitarian Church. And behind me, to your right, is Meredith Plummer. Welcome back. I want to sing the theme song to Welcome Back, Kata. You have been missed, Meredith, so it's good to have you back. Our church is a place where you are free to be you. You can't say that everywhere, can you? But here at First Church, you are free to be you. So bring your questioning mind, your expansive heart, your entire self to this beloved community. Our mission is to welcome all with love, to support learning and spiritual growth, to serve our wider community, and to work for justice, equity, and inclusion. Please make sure to read the announcements and inserts in today's order of service, where you can find important information regarding accommodations and upcoming events. And our flowers this morning, are those the ones that are being dedicated this morning? Are given in thanks for the love and support of our beloved community this year. So before we go further, let's take that all-important moment in our service and take some time to greet our neighbors. But before we do that, let's wave to the people watching from home, and then rise and say hello to whoever's sitting next to you. When you hear the singing bowl ring, return to your seats. All right, class. There will be no coffee hour if we can't behave for the next 55 minutes. Julia Almager is going to share our board moment this month. Julia, could you come forward?
Good morning. One of our developmental goals is to strengthen communication, and I think we're doing a really good job with that. So as I contemplated, it was a little complicated, what to share this morning for the board minute, I was really in a quandary. The minutes from the May board meeting have been released. We had a congregational meeting on May 19th, at which great detail was shared. And and there's the All Aboard article in the newsletter that was just emailed this morning. So I really didn't know what else to share. Barbara Bonney suggested to me that I just speak from the heart, so here goes. A few months ago, Alex asked if we could have a phone conversation. And given the board restructure, I thought, uh-oh, he is either going to ask me to step up into one of the 2 vice president roles or to step down from the board. I was kind of amused at contemplating that disparity and knew that this was going to be hard either way. I tend to say yes when I'm asked to do things, and since Alex had already asked me to be involved with lifespan faith development and some restructuring of the religious education program, I'm a teacher, and of course I'd said yes. I knew that I just did not really have time to step up, but probably would agree since that's how I roll. I also knew that I did not want to step down, since I have thoroughly enjoyed being on the board and knowing the people on the board. We are community, and I very much have appreciated that community of the board, so thank you all. So as you know, Alex asked me and I agreed to step down and focus on this RE, religious education role, and while I was disappointed, I was also a little bit relieved, since I knew that this RE work was potentially going to be a lot of work. I will really miss the board, and I'll miss that group and that work. Acknowledging the disappointment, I really do enjoy writing lesson plans and curriculum, and I have been predominantly working with Emily Moores, who is delightful and has great ideas. Emily, you didn't know you're getting a shout out up here. I even was able this past week to work in Emily's home, to see her beautiful daughters in action outside of the RE classroom, to see their art and creativity, and to see Emily's art. So as one door has sort of closed, another has opened with the Lifespan Faith Development Group that I also enjoy, also working in community, and also achieving important goals. The opportunities that we have as congregants here at First Unitarian Church are many and are varied. Whichever way we choose to be involved, the community is strong, the work is important, and we are so lucky. I do encourage everyone in this room to be involved in some way or in more ways for both the church's sake and for your own. We have a developmental ministry goal to strengthen congregational involvement, so let's do it. Let's get involved. Open those additional doors. And I guess while I'm up here with your attention, speaking in my new RE capacity, I hope you will consider volunteering either occasionally or regularly in the RE classrooms. The changes in programming are exciting, and it's a joy to work with the children. So it's perhaps fitting that I'm wrapping up my tenure on the board and sharing the board minute in this same month, so I can say thank you very much for allowing me the opportunity to have served in this capacity, albeit just for 1 year.
Thank you, Julia. Thank you for your time on the board. I was very hesitant to meet with you and ask you to step down and serve in religious education. I know she's behind me, but I have to look at the camera. And we appreciate that you're doing this because, as you heard, in the last few months, I've really up-leveled religious education as our primary developmental goal for the coming year. And it's important that we succeed at this, and we are, because you will see in just a little bit, we're dedicating 10 children to this congregation this morning. So. But I think the most important part of what Julia said, if our nominating chair is taking notes, that I believe she said basically implicitly that she'd be happy to serve on the board at request at any point in time. So keep that in mind. All right, Julia, if you would, the mechanism for lighting the chalices out front, and we're going to light the chalice to one of my favorite Rumi quatrains this morning, which goes like this. Come to the orchard in spring. Yeah. Is it turned up? Let me see it for a second. Got it. Yay! The light of liberal religion must always shine. That's not what Rumi said, although he would have. Come to the orchard in spring. There is light and wine and sweethearts in the pomegranate flowers. If you do not come, these do not matter. If you do come, these do not matter. Our first hymn this morning is number 123, Spirit of Life, in the gray hymnal. Please turn to it and rise as you are able. I love watching our children turn when we sing hymns. We've got a little school of dervishes over here that it's wonderful to see. So today is our flower communion service, and most of you are familiar with that, but not everybody is familiar with that, especially if you're a new UU. So Meredith has prepared a video that tells the story of flower communion. So behind me and above the pulpit, you'll be able to see that video as it plays.
The Story of the Flower Communion by Reverend Sarah Movius Schur. The story of the Flower Communion begins in Prague, Czechoslovakia, in June of 1923, with a Unitarian minister named Norbert Čapek. The city of Prague was in turmoil as it tried to recover from World War I. Czechs had traditionally been staunch supporters of religious freedom, but during many years of German rule, they had been forced to practice Catholicism. The people of Prague, embracing their new freedom, were trying to rebuild their community, but they were faced with widespread hunger and were lacking necessities such as warm clothes. Reverend Čapek was the minister of a new and growing Unitarian church in town. He was known for his uplifting hymns and welcoming community. Čapek knew that during the hard times, people needed something even more special. He wanted a religious ritual that would bind his diverse community of people together in hope and care. He knew the traditional communion service of the local Catholic Church would not be comforting to many of his parishioners, some of whom had felt let down by what they saw as corruption in powerful Catholic leadership. But what kind of ritual would work? What kind of ritual could he create to help his community, healing the wounds and unifying the people? Reverend Čapek looked to the beauty of nature to find a solution. For this special ritual, he asked everyone to bring a flower to church. It could be from a cultivated garden or it could be a wildflower from the side of the road. Even a twig and leaf would be fine. As people entered the church, their flowers were collected in a large vase. Women in the congregation arranged all the flowers into a beautiful bouquet. At a special point in the service, the children brought forward the truly spectacular bouquet. The flowers were consecrated with prayers and hymns written by Reverend Chapek. At the end of the service, everyone was invited to take home a flower, but they were to take home a different flower than the one they brought. And they were to take flowers just as they came, without regard for where they came from or who had brought them. This was the first service of what came to be called Flower Communion. Reverend Chapek wanted the diverse flowers in his communion service to symbolize people. Many different flowers can make a beautiful bouquet, and many different people can make a community. All have value, and all are important. The service was very successful, touching many people deeply. It became a church tradition. This story also has a sad part. Hitler's troops began to occupy Prague in 1939, and by 1940 the Prague Unitarian Church was under the surveillance of the Gestapo, the Nazi police. Reverend Chapek and his Unitarian Church were not popular with the Nazis. Nazi court records state that Chapek was, quote, too dangerous to the Reich for him to be allowed to live, unquote. In 1942, Norbert Chapek
Try that again? All right. We were nearly at the end of that recorded story, and instead of trying to find our way through and start up exactly where we were, I just thought I'd sum it up for you. Essentially, Norbert Chapek died in the concentration camps. But his dream, this idea of a community made of many different people, represented by many different flowers, that lived on. It was brought to the United States by his wife. And here, 80-some years later, we still celebrate it at First Church and at Unitarian Universalist congregations across the nation. That is the story of the Flower Communion.
To bless the flowers in his flower communion service, and then after the service or after a coffee hour or whatever you're comfortable with, just come grab a flower and take one home. Any chance we're live? All right. I think you're loose. On me? Yeah. I woke up in such a good mood. And I thought, what a great day. Children dedications, new members, music, and ever since I stepped foot in this place, it has been one inauspicious moment after another. So, well, I don't think it's me, but we'll see. All right, so it might be a little difficult. Testing 1, 2, 3, testing 1, 2. Now it's back. All right, let's give it another try. All right. Blah, 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 blah. Not my most articulate 5 minutes in the pulpit that I've ever had, but as the comedian Eddie Izzard said, it's 70% how you look, so at least I'm looking holy, right? So this is the thing. So the next phase of this auspicious service is to introduce you to the new folks who have joined our congregation this year. And so when we have a new person join the congregation, we always assign a buddy, and I'm going to tell you who the buddies were, but the buddies don't need to come up this morning unless you want to be seen. So Lindsay Armitage, whose buddy was Beth Lutz. Lindsay, if you could come forward. Miriam Calkins, whose buddy was Rebecca Schaefer. Claire Denzel, whose buddy was Clancy Lewis. Ann Flesher, whose buddy was Barbara Homler, but Ann is not feeling well, so she's not with us this morning. George Hood, whose buddy was Doug Gerard. Melissa Johnson, whose buddy was Barbara Newman. Jerry and Peggy Lawson, whose buddies were Alan Carroll Lloyd. Liz Loring, whose buddy was Lori Huffner. Sandra McDonald, whose buddy is Angela Pruitt. Emily Moores, whose buddy is Ashley Crosh. And Kathleen Skinner, whose buddy is Annie Aiken. So we have a dozen new members of First U this year. Our membership chair's way ahead of me. I was going to grab these books. So just a few words about membership in a Unitarian Universalist congregation from my perspective. I became a Unitarian Universalist because I had a natural philosophical predisposition as a very young child, and it never went away. And after a pretty circuitous route through all sorts of different Christian denominations and then some non-Christian religious traditions like Hinduism and Buddhism and whatnot, I stumbled upon a bunch of Unitarian Universalists at Harvard Divinity School, and I literally mean stumbled upon them. They were everywhere, wearing tie-dye and Birkenstocks. And I found this rather peculiar, and so I gauged the peculiar, and I got to know them, and I realized after talking to them that Unitarian Universalism would be a great place for me to continue my spiritual journey, because you don't have to subscribe to a creed. The right of conscience that we guarantee one another gives us the ability to direct our own spiritual paths as we see fit. And part of the blessing of that is that everybody in every UU congregation has that right. So not only do we have that freedom as Unitarian Universalists, the people that we engage in church on every Sunday morning give us little pieces of the universal puzzle from their perspective that we can use to build our own theology as well. So being part of a very diverse community theologically is important. But it's also a very diverse social community. One of the things that Unitarian Universalists have been incredibly fierce about, literally since back in the times of Europe, and especially since coming to America, is social justice. Unitarian Universalists are as committed to social justice as they are to our right of conscience and our ability to explore spirituality according to our own direction. And so we have been involved for a long, long time in social justice causes. And this book covers both of those. This book has chapters on religious freedom. It has chapters on the history of UUs and social justice. And it's called A Chosen Faith. And I hope that you do take the time over the summer to read it. A Chosen Faith is a perfect title because the majority of people who are Unitarian Universalists were not born into this movement. They chose at some point to join. So it's a very conscientious choice to become a Unitarian Universalist. So that is the tradition you've entered, and we're very, very excited that you've done so. And we hope that you find grist for your spiritual mill, and we hope that you connect to our efforts here at First U to do social justice. And we really, really hope. Thank you all very much. You may be seated. Oh, absolutely. Ramona back. Caleb. Oh, Caleb Cameron. Thank you, Caleb.
Ramona, we love you. Love you too, baby. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Everyone can see we're together as we walk on by, and we fly just like birds of a feather. I won't tell no lie. All of the people around us, they say, can they be that close? Just let me stay for the record. We're giving love like a family does. Oh yeah, we are family.
We are family.
I got all my sisters with me.
I got all my sisters with me.
We are family.
We are family.
Get up everybody and sing. We are family.
We are family.
I got all my sisters with me.
I got all my sisters with me.
We are family.
Family.
Get up everybody and sing. Living life is fun and we've just begun to get our share of this world's delights. High hopes we have for the future and our goals inside. But we don't get depressed, for here's what we call our golden rule. Have faith in you and the things you do. You won't go wrong, oh no. This is our family jewel. Oh yeah, we are family.
We are family.
I got all my sisters with me.
I got all my sisters with me.
We are family.
We are family.
Get up everybody and sing. We are family.
We are family.
I got all my sisters with me.
I got all my sisters with me.
We are family.
Family.
Get up everybody and sing. We are family.
We are family.
I got all my sisters with me.
I got all my sisters with me.
We are family.
Family.
Get up everybody and sing.
How about here? All right. I suspect it's the batteries, so we'll just consider it dead. All right, it's going to be a little more awkward than I planned. But we got dedications to do. We have 10 children we are dedicating this morning. So I'm going to read their names, and if they and their parents/guardians could come forward, that would be great. Elliot Schaefer. Isla Gillespie, Clara and Julie Moores, Thaddeus Calkins, Amelia Kinka, Lincoln, Amelia, and Camden Crosh, and Trip Oney.
Whatever their ages, children deserve the tender love and firm guidance which only parents, teachers, and friends can give. The great end child rearing, as William Ellery Channing observed, is not to stamp our minds upon the young, but to stir up their own. Not to make them see with our eyes, but to look inquiringly and steadily with their own. Not to form an outward regularity, but to touch inward springs. Not to burden memory, but to quicken the power of thought, so that they may learn and approve for themselves what is everlastingly right and good. It is to symbolize such possibility that we have come to this ceremony.
How are we doing? Yeah, we got power. All right. So, a reading from the prophet by Khalil Gibran. As the prophet neared the shore, the people gathered about him, and one of them, holding a babe, said to the prophet, "Speak to us about children." And the prophet said, "Your children are not your children. They are the sons and daughters of life's longing for itself. They come through you, but not from you. And though they are with you, they do not belong to you. You may give them your love, but not your thoughts, for they have their own thoughts. You may house their bodies, but not their souls, for their souls dwell in the house of tomorrow, which you cannot visit, not even in your dreams. You may strive to be like them, but seek not to make them like you. For life goes not backward, nor tarries with yesterday. Indeed, you are the bows from which your children as living arrows are sent forth. Remember then, even as the archer loves the arrow that flies straight into the sun, so he loves the steady bow gripped firmly in his hands." So there you have the flowers. All right, awesome. You go ahead and read, and I will hand these out.
Parents, you come out of reverence for the mystery of life that you have seen in your children. In this dedication ceremony, we give children a flower. The flower symbolizes the beauty of a child's young life. The flower also symbolizes the meaning of this dedication. For whether a flower is beautiful or not, whether it comes into full bloom or not, whether it fulfills itself or not, depends on the nature and the nurture it receives. No flower grows alone, apart from the sun and rain and soil in which it grows. So too, no child grows alone.
Did at least one parent get a flower? And maybe a child? They have thorns. So be careful, children, but this is life. I tell you, I could go on forever about roses. They are both one of the most deeply beautiful, passionate flowers, as is life, and they have thorns, as does life. So, Meredith, could you do me a favor?
Yes.
Now, I know Unitarian Universalists have issues with water, but I like to use water in a dedication. But we don't, when we bless a child with water, we don't make the sign of the cross. We make the sign of the chalice. And we let the child decide, forehead, back of hand, whatever. So if you could do that while I do a reading. In this dedication ceremony, we bless these children with water. Water symbolizes the meaning of their lives to come. As water seeks the path of least resistance, may their lives too be filled with the easy way. May they rest in low, shaded valleys, and may they rush energetically through the many channels of life's experiences that await them. Like this water, may they be the source of life-giving energy to all whose lives they touch. What did I miss? Oh. Thank you. Are there any children who don't have a flower? Oh. There. All right. Back to Meredith.
Parents, do you solemnly promise that to the best of your abilities, you will instruct and train these children in the principles of virtuous living? If so, say we do. Do you promise that you will help these children to be fearless, impartial, and reverent seeker after truth, beauty, and goodness? If so, say we do. Will you affirm that these children are a sacred responsibility as well as the embodiment of your love for one another? Will you dedicate yourselves anew to that way of life that will fill these children's hearts with memories of gladness and a sense of compassion for all others who travel life's wondrous journey? If so, say we do.
To the congregation. The minds and hearts of children are as open to the wonders and worries of the universe as a vulnerable flower in bloom. As the essence of religion is to shape a person into someone whose heart and mind is aware of both, but seeks wonder first, will you as a congregation commit yourselves to imbue in these children the values that shape our free, liberal religious tradition? If so, say we will.
And our children who are gathered here for the dedication. Growing up is a great task that comes with wonderful opportunities and great responsibilities. Among these opportunities and responsibilities are the experiences of learning and loving. Do you promise to learn and to love as you make your way in this world? If so, say we do.
That was an act of faith. May the strength of the wind and the light of the sun, the softness of the rain and the mystery of the moon reach you and fill you. May beauty delight you and happiness uplift you. May wonder fulfill you and love surround you. May your step be steady and your arm be strong. May your heart be peaceful and your word be true. May you seek to learn, may you seek to live, may you live to love, and may you love always. Blessed be. We are so delighted that you have chosen our religious education program as a place to rear your child in spiritual and ways of justice. So thank you and welcome, and we'll see you, I don't know, are we, next week, do we have the kids in the sanctuary again, or we're starting summer, so, all right, so summer begins, but we do have programs for the kids, something going on next week, so maybe we'll see you. Anyway, thank you, welcome, and thank you all.
Yesterday, a child came out to wander, caught a dragonfly inside a jar. Fearful when the sky was full of thunder, and tearful at the falling of a star. And the seasons, they go round and round, and the painted ponies go up and down. We're captive on the carousel of time. We can return, we can only look behind from where we came, and go round and round and round on the circle again. Then the child moved 10 times round the seasons, skated over 10 clear frozen streams. Words like when you're older must appease him, and promises of someday make his dreams. And the seasons, they go round and round, and the painted ponies go up and down. We're captive on the carousel of time. We can return, we can only look behind from where we came, and go round and round and round on the circle again. 16 springs and 16 summers gone now. Cartwheels turn to car wheels through the town, and they tell him, take your time, it won't be long now, till you drag your feet to slow the circle down. And the seasons, they go round and round, and the painted ponies go up and down. We're captive on a carousel of time. We can't return, we can only look behind from where we came, and go round and round and round in the circle game. So then years spin by, and now the boy is 20. Though his dreams have lost some grandeur coming true, there'll be new dreams, maybe better dreams and plenty, before the last revolving year is through. And the seasons, they go round and round, and the painted ponies go up and down. We're captive on the carousel of time. We can return, we can only look behind from where we came, and go round and round and round on the circle game. And go round and round and round in the circle game.
So you all are in luck because you get another story today. This story begins in the land that we know now as China, where there was an emperor. And as that emperor was approaching the later years of his life, he came to the realization that there was no one who would take his place if he died. He had no children, so what was he going to do? Well, he gathered all the children in the village to his palace. And there, because he loved plants so much, he gave a seed to every single child. Here. And the emperor said, take this seed, go home. Whoops, here, you can take another one. Yeah. And plant it. And in a year's time, bring back what you have. And so they did. The children went, and as the year went on, the children in the village started to talk, and some were saying, oh yeah, my plant, it is growing tall. And some children said, oh really? Well, my plant is growing strong. And others said, oh, well, my plant, it has the most beautiful flowers on it. But there was one child, Chen. Poor Chen. You know, he took his seed. And now here's the thing about Chen. He knew plants as well. And so he knew he needed a very good pot. He got the best pot he could find. And he knew he needed soil. So he got some good soil. And he planted his seed. Sit down so everyone can see. Can you sit down? Thank you. So he planted his seed in the soil, and he waited. And nothing happened. So he watered it, and he waited, and nothing happened. And then, so he searched for sunlight. Maybe it needed more sun, so he took it around and he placed it in different places in his house and in his yard, and he waited, and nothing happened.
We heard this story.
You know this story? Okay, well, don't give it away, okay? It's a good story. I'm glad you've heard it before. And so a year passed. And everyone went to the emperor's palace. And just like the children had said, some of them had great, amazing plants, ferns with amazing leaves. Will you here? You can look at that. You want to look at that? And other children had plants with beautiful, beautiful flowers. And still other children had plants with delicious food. And other children had healing herbs. But what about Chen? What do you think he had? He had nothing, just the pot with the dirt. And he went up to the emperor and he said, I'm so sorry. I found the best pot I could, and I cared for it with the healthiest soil, and I watered it, and I put it in the sunlight and the shade, and talked to it, and did all I could, but all I have is this empty pot. And that is when the emperor said, oh, Chen, you will be the next emperor. Now, why do you think that was? His pot was empty. Oh, yeah.
Because, he burned the seed so that it wouldn't grow, for honesty. Because the person took out the flower and put a different flower in it.
Have you heard this story too?
Yeah, I named somebody different, except instead of being named, the person, instead of being named that, instead of being named how he is in the
Yeah, there are different versions of this story with different names of people, but you're right. So the emperor had boiled all of the seeds, so none of them were going to grow. So all of the plants that the other kids brought, they were fake. They were not the seed that the emperor gave them. But Chen's seed wasn't. It was the emperor's seed, and the fact that he presented the empty pot to the emperor meant that Chen was honest and had integrity, which are what you need when you become an emperor. And so from that day forward, Chen and his family lived in the palace, and he learned everything he needed to know beyond honesty and integrity about how to be an emperor. And that is where our story ends.
I was supposed to be Jen.
You were? Yeah.
Gov.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's the rest of our story. I wonder, when you go home, what you will do with your seed.
Find it and see if it'll grow.
I don't know. Thank you for listening.
If you would.
Me again. The way the technical difficulties are going today, I am not Tristan Vaught, who unfortunately woke up ill this morning, and so I will be speaking to you about Transform Cincinnati. So each month we designate one of our Sunday plate collections to benefit a special cause or a local social service organization. This month our beneficiary is Transform Cincy, an organization benefiting transgender, gender nonconforming, and LGBTQ youth, an organization that I have experienced through my daughter's involvement. And here again, I will speak from the heart because I really wasn't prepared to speak today about this. My daughter and I, 6 or 7 years ago, went to the Pride Parade, and I bought some soap from the Oakley Soap Company. A portion of the proceeds went to Transform Cincy. So when we got home that day, my daughter and I looked up Transform to see what was the organization to which we had donated. And we were really intrigued. It sounded like just a great organization. It provides all sorts of services, including styling and wardrobing to LGBTQ youth, but predominantly to trans youth. And it is just an amazing organization. When I walked in there, it was so welcoming. There was a sofa with a rainbow carpet in front, and it just felt so comforting to be there. My daughter served in various capacities, including she was a stylist. So trans youth from this area and from around the country travel to come to Transform. They fill out a form in advance talking about their sizes and their styling desires, and then the volunteers, such as my daughter, curate collections and provide styling and complete wardrobes to youth. In addition, there are resources for parents, and my Abby told me that it was heartwarming because at times parents would sit there and cry as they watched their children transform in this space. The organization has grown. It has moved to a larger space and provides all sorts of other services now to trans adults and LGBTQ youth and adults. They provide advocacy, and well, I guess that's about it. They, let's see, I wrote a few notes. It's just a really safe place. It's a place for connection, for support, for socializing, for networking, and accessing resources and education. Tristan Vaught, who unfortunately couldn't be here today, has a CV the length of your arm and is a professor, is a consultant. I've actually worked with them in a consulting capacity at the school where I teach, and I really just can't say enough about this organization. So, your donation today will help support the work of Transform Cincy. Please make checks payable to First Unitarian Church of Cincinnati with Transform Cincy in the memo line. You also may make your donation online through Breeze or at any time, or in the box in the back. The offering now will be gratefully received. Thank you.
My mama told me when I was young, we're all born superstars. She rolled my hair and put my lipstick on in the glass of her boudoir. There's nothing wrong with loving who you are, she said, 'cause he made you perfect, babe. Just hold your head up, girl, and you'll go far. Listen to me when I say I'm beautiful in my way, 'cause God makes no mistakes. I'm on the right track, baby, I was born this way. Don't hide yourself in regrets, just love yourself in your sight. I'm on the right track, baby, I was born this way. Born this way, ooh, there ain't no other way. Baby, I was born this way. Baby, I was born this way. Born this way, ooh, there ain't no other way. Baby, I was born this way. Right track, baby, I was born this way. Don't be a drag, just be a queen. Don't be a drag, just be a queen. Don't be a drag, just be a queen. Don't be, don't be, don't be. Give yourself prudence and love your friends, so we could rejoice your truth. In the religion of the insecure, I must be myself, respect my youth. A different lover is not a sin, believe capital H-I-M-A. I love my life, I love this record, and mi amore voleva. I'm beautiful in my way, 'cause God makes no mistakes. I'm on the right track, baby, I was born this way. Don't hide yourself in regret, just love yourself in your set. I'm on the right track, baby, I was born this way. Born this way, there ain't no other way. Baby, I was born this way. Baby, I was born this way. Born this way, ooh, there ain't no other way. Baby, I was born this way. Right track, baby, I was born this way. drag, just be a queen. Whether you're broke or evergreen, your black, white, beige, chola descent, your Lebanese, your Orient. Whether life's disabilities left you outcast, bullied, or teased, rejoice and love yourself today, 'cause baby, you were born. No matter gay, straight, or bi, lesbian, transgender life, I'm on the right track. Baby, I was born to survive. No matter black, white, or beige, transgender, oriented, I'm on the right track. Baby, I was born to be brave, beautiful in my way, 'cause God makes no mistakes. I'm on the right track. Baby, I was born this way. Don't hide yourself in regret, just love yourself and you're set. I'm on the right track, baby, I was born this way. Ooh, there ain't no other way. Baby, I was born this way. Baby, I was born this way. Ooh, there ain't no other way. Baby, I was born this way. Right track, baby, I was born this way. I was born this way, hey. I was born this way, hey. I'm on the right track, baby, I was born this way, hey. I was born this way, hey. I was born this way, hey. I'm on the right track, baby, I was born this way, hey. Same DNA, but born this way. Same DNA, just born this way.
We do the pulpit? There we go. So as I said, Caleb and Colleen, anytime. Thank you for today. It's wonderful to have you. So when I made the order of service today, I realized I'm probably going to have to edit this at some point, and this is that point. I have always used Flower Communion as a poetry slam because there's not enough poetry in our world. But I'm not going to do that today because of time. I'm going to save it for the fall. So we'll just do that sometime in the fall. What I'd like to do is just share the words of Dr. Chopik to consecrate our flowers today, and then maybe sing hymn 396, and we're going to call it a day after that. How's that? Okay? All right. So as Dr. Chopik used to say when he would consecrate the flowers, in the name of providence, which implants in the seed the future of the flower, and in our hearts the longing for people to live in harmony. In the name of the highest, in whom we move, and who makes the mother and father, the brother and sister, lover and loner what they are. In the name of sages and great religious leaders, who sacrificed their lives to hasten the coming of the age of mutual respect. Let us renew our resolution, sincerely to be real brothers and sisters regardless of any kind of bar that estranges us from each other. In this holy resolve, may we be strengthened knowing that we are God's family, that one spirit, the spirit of love, unites us, and endeavor for a more perfect and more joyful life. Our final hymn this morning is number 396. I know this rose will open. It's quite short, so we were going to do it in a round, but let's just sing it through together 3 times, and we'll close our service with it. everybody, don't forget to take home a flower. Blessed be.